So this is what you will be referring to. I'm Tim Walberg, and this is where I stand. I stand for our founding principles. Belief in God, our Declaration of Independence, Constitution, Bill of Rights. I stand for freedom to start a business, to choose your doctor, what you drive, what you eat, to carry a gun, to teach and raise your own children, to live your own life. Welcome. I stand for personal responsibility. Always good to have a foot. Oh, no problem. This is great. I stand for personal responsibility. Let's encourage common sense, good behavior, and discourage bad behavior. I stand for limited government, which means limited regulation, limited spending. And let me explain that further. Limited spending in my book means cuts in spending. Limited taxing and limited borrowing. And I stand for life and all other American traditional values. You see the fundamental difference in this race when it comes right down to it between Mark Schauer and Tim Walberg, if I'm the nominee after next Tuesday, is that while Mark Schauer puts his clear trust in big government, I put my trust in America's people, the people of 7th District. When he has a 96%, by stats, 96% voting record with Nancy Pelosi, and the rest of the Democrats, on average, vote 90% with Nancy Pelosi, you can understand why I say that Mark Schauer has a better grasp of and would represent better Haight-Ashbury and San Francisco than the 7th District. Because we certainly, in this room, and I can tell you, generally speaking, across this district, wouldn't vote 96% of the time with Nancy Pelosi. And yet Mark Schauer has. And that's a matter of record. So, bottom line, that fundamental difference of trust in big government versus trust in American people is the difference between us. I've served in the state legislature for 8 terms, 16 years, between 1983 and 1999. I served when Blanchard was governor and when Engler was governor. I served when Blanchard left us with a $1.8 billion budget deficit, and Walberg was known as one of the 3 main no voters against the spending and the tax increases that Blanchard put through. And then when Engler came on, I was known as part of the leadership that took that bungle of $1.8 billion budget deficit, increased government, all sorts of excessive regulation, and we turned that around with 26 tax cuts that I co-sponsored and voted for, including Proposal A, that reduced property taxes 50%, set a cap on property tax increases to 5% inflation, whichever is less, and voted for, and as well as co-sponsored the bill that made welfare workfare or edufare, and began to see the state turn around and go from a deficit of $1.8 billion to a surplus of over $1 billion, a AAA bond rating, and a less than 6% unemployment rate. That happened really in a matter of 4 years, as we began starting it to when we achieved it. Now that's what says to me the same thing can happen. It'll take a little longer with the federal government, with $1 trillion+ deficits, and the continued borrowing and $1 trillion deficits that the Democrats and Speaker Pelosi and Mark Schauer are pushing for. But it can be done. Americans can do it. And we will go through some pain in order to get the gain. But if we're willing to do that, and you elect people who will do that as a result of your request to restore the freedom to this country, to reduce the size, cost, scope, power of government, we can achieve it. But it won't be for the faint of heart. Not only for the elected official, but for the voter as well. But I don't want to turn over a country that we have right now to my grandkids. I have to look down. I couldn't look in their eyes.